So what wants to happen next has to do with discovering purpose. And the way that that works, I'm just going to zip through it, is that you have to identify an unbearable problem or a problem that actually deserves to be addressed. And then you hypothesize what it'll look like when it's relieved. In this case, we're talking about an unbearable problem of not serving any ice cream in the winter. You determine the root cause of not serving ice cream, health, and you imagine what would happen, what you would have to do in order to create a solution, in order to close the gap. You take action and you test it. So in this case, what our dear friend Linda would do is she might try putting out a big poster saying, ice cream, the healthiest snack in town, and see if people begin to change their mind. High protein, milk, ice cream, and see if people change their minds. If she raises the number that she's selling so that she notices the percentage of relief. She envisions a scenario in which there's no problem at all. That is to say, her sales are even all of the year. And she continues on this path of eradicating the problem of lower sales in the winter, taking action and testing, until she identifies a standard scenario in which people always buy ice cream 12 months out of the year. And so that's how you can test and develop your product and service so that you don't have these kind of up-down realities in your sales cycles. So basically, any business, whether it's a tech idea or ice cream, any idea, has three capacities to it, three pieces. There's whether people are delighted by it, it's whether it makes money, which is the cash, and whether technologically it's feasible. In this case, we're talking about whether she could actually make ice cream in the winter, or whether she could drive places. In some places, it's so rainy, like monsoon season in Indonesia, people don't drive that much. And from those three characteristics, you build your brand. Now, the brand is really important because it directly relates to why now. Why buy the ice cream now? Because we always need a sort of urgency for buying. Why now? So I'm going to go very quickly now for the next 5 minutes. I'm going to get through a bunch of these slides, and I might even eliminate a couple. So what's offered? Who's the client? Why is it profitable? How is value created? And where it is sold? Is it sold? Remember how Linda explained to us that it's sold in the mall and in her truck at people's places. And from that, that's how we end up with these basic components that are considered to be the basic elements of building a scalable business model. Scalable means that you can grow it. This is a whole course in talking about how to scale your business model. We're not going to go into it now. What we're going to go into now is how is it that you actually enter into attracting people? Well, the first thing is that you connect with them, you touch them, you interest them, you educate them, engage with them. As you see right here between inspire and delight is the point at which you're converting them into customers. You're educating them that ice cream is okay to eat in the winter. You're engaging them in trying a little bit and seeing how they feel. Inspiring them to eating it all the time, and then delighting them with how they feel after they've eaten it. Recommending, selling, converting, and then they belong to your loyal customers. That's another thing you can do. You can have a loyal customer club who are the leading eaters and buyers of ice cream all the time. So this slide is basically showing us what a startup ecosystem looks like. And again, we're not going to go through this too much, except to let you know that when we have a startup ecosystem with all of these elements, that's when each business thrives. If we don't have all of these elements, the way that we bolster them, the way we bolster is by having community. This is a slide that shows many of the different places where I have worked, where people are building community. In Uganda, in Kuwait, in Sri Lanka, in where was that? Oh, that was Sri Lanka. This one is, I think that was Mexico. And so, Panama. And so these are places that community is being built. People are coming together and helping one another, because you can always come together and help one another. And in that way, you can overcome the elements that may be missing in your startup ecosystem. For instance, with me, I built a big old building that had many, many different options. At the end of the day, 77% of people who rely on networks, who are in networks, those are the people whose businesses succeed. If you don't have a network, find at least 2 other people that you can gather with so that you can exchange ideas and you can talk about what needs to happen next. If you have even a little forum, a little community of your own, your business will much more likely grow. So what happens next? The forums build resilience for founders because it gives you an opportunity to actually understand a bit more about what is happening from other people's eyes. Notice how I debated with Maggie rather at length about her perception. And that's actually the benefit of forums. You have an opportunity to create resilience no matter what anybody says, no matter what people do. They support you or they reject what you're saying. You can flourish even in a moment of uncertainty, like the moment of uncertainty that we're having today in the world. Women as a whole don't typically have mentors, but we need to do that. We need to focus on supporting one another as women. Men do too, but women particularly need more support because we tend to try to do everything for everyone instead of allowing people to work with us in a community. When we identify who our clients are, we speak directly to them. This is just a photo of one startup ecosystem building that I made outside of Silicon Valley and expanded the borders of Silicon Valley. Here, it was 1 million square feet on 23 acres. And people came here and did all kinds of businesses, turning it into the area's largest incubator accelerator. So that was a lot of fun. So now let's talk again about how it is that it works. This is what we looked at once before. We looked at how it is that the 5-step process works. So again, remember where you are in the 5-step process. Think about it and focus on it and see what you need to do to bring yourself up to the next level. One of the things that is really important is to see, are you ready to raise money? So money comes in to support businesses at different moments in the growth. I provide a whole workshop on investment readiness, which we just launched. You can see it on It's Cheryl Edison at my Facebook page. We just launched an investment readiness course for $5. And we did that because the problem generally with most businesses is that they don't scale from lack of funding. And in order to scale the number of businesses in the world that also scale, I decided that what I need to do is to offer a course in investment readiness at just $5 so that more people could enter into that process of actually getting money so that you can build your business. For the first, I'm making up a number, 25 people who go to my Facebook page now today and say, hey, investment readiness, let me have it free. If you write me a direct message, you'll have it for free, the first 25 people. So these are the processes that we go through when we're raising money, and at different levels, we raise money in different ways. And that workshop is all about how to raise money. We have just a few minutes left, so let's keep going here. Investors decide to give you money in very specific ways. They really only think about 6 things. They think about these 6 things that you see on the screen. What's the problem? Do you have a better solution? Did you make a profitable model? Do you have co-founders? Do you have a team? Because businesses are not usually successful. They don't usually scale if you don't have a team. Is the timing of your business correct? That is to say, it's not about whether people will ever eat ice cream. It's that, is the way that you're offering the ice cream correct? And I'm going to say, for instance, in this mobile ice cream delivery, that's right in the center of a worldwide trend.